first.
Hi everyone, welcome once again to the Digital Spotlight podcast. I'm your co-host, Alexia Peralta, Director of E-Governance and Digitalization Unit, digital champion, but at the same time, part of a passionate, innovative, and agile team who's trying to drive change and beliefs so that we can create maximum impact for you. And we're happy that you're joining us once again on another great episode, and I'm sure you're gonna learn a lot. And today I'm joined by Stephanie. Stephanie, how's it been?
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Ayuso Acosta and joining Alexia for this episode of the Digital Spotlight. Alexia, things have been going great, right? Things have been going great. Just this morning, I have been thinking how I was on my phone, as usual, right? As usual, doing things on my phone, and I made a little purchase and quickly made the payment online, and I was thinking, my gosh, these things are so handy for us, like the apps that we use. So I think it goes right in line with our topic for today, right? Our topic for today and how ICT brings value to the life of everyone.
Right. Especially when we're trying to deliver better services and we're trying to ensure that it's really at your fingertips now. Like we're so accustomed to. It's really second nature for us to say, let's make a bank payment via an app, or let's purchase things via an app, So these things are, I would say, natural now. It's, it's not even the next step. It's like, it's here. We do it every day,
It's natural to a lot of us, but what I have noticed also is that there's still a little bit of skepticism from different groups of people. So like me, full buy-in from me. I click, and I'm
early
done.
adopter. I love it.
Yes. A few clicks and I get what I need to do through my phone, and I trust the process. But I gotta admit, we still have a long way to go convincing everyone to trust that these applications, these services are here for them and they're safe to use.
Exactly. And I think we've spoken a lot about how do we build that trust, how do we create safe, convenient applications. In our other podcasts too, when we spoke about cyber safety, staying safe online, and we also spoke about the importance of culture, communication, so I think it really ties in from all the conversations we've been having now to having this conversation today about how are we planning to take services online.
Right.
Services that are offered by government to citizens, to the private sector, but even to itself. We sometimes maybe tend to forget that government also has employees who it also has to give services to, are trustworthy, safe, inclusive, and that they're easy. Because I'm sure that is one of the first things you think about when you're trying to use an app, right? How easy is it to use?
Exactly. So with taking a look at the National Digital Agenda and the things that have been put in place, the projects that have already been implemented that, to make life easier for our citizens, for everyone really, while using ICTs.
Well, I think that's a great question. There's so many different projects that are currently ongoing across the government, because when you think about services that are being offered by government to citizens, to the private sector, I think we tend to, by default, because we hear about them more on social media, we tend to think more about, the immediate ones, like accessing birth registration, land registration. But in reality, government actually has to offer almost 350 services to a wide cross-section of clients. We have to offer services to citizens in various age ranges who have different objectives, but we also have to be a platform that share information.
Right.
So when you think about that, it's like, I don't know about you, but it definitely for me, it becomes, okay, how do we offer services to all of these individuals that really we can provide that easy, convenient, efficient? And one of those projects, which I'm very proud that the unit was part of, and that we partnered with the Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government, specifically the Labor Department, in ensuring that we are facilitating and improving their temporary employment permit system.
Oh, I recall seeing about that, and I found it quite impressive because it's about a year ago, exactly a year ago, that I was working with the media covering the launch of eCash, the eCash
Yes.
app. So it's 1 year ago, and now I see that. I remember thinking with the launch of this application, I said, this is a big deal. This is such a big deal for our country. I
Such
thought
an
it,
innovative
and I put
move,
a
right?
pin on that, and I said, wow, we're definitely going in the right direction. And now, 1 year later,
Now government is adopting it for online payments. And really at the core of it is, the discussions we've been having about inclusion, ensuring that while we're taking services online, that we're ensuring that it's full online services and fully minimizes the need for anyone to go to a government office. And this was a prime example. The Labor Department did so much work during the COVID pandemic to try to minimize, the need to go to their offices, ensuring that's proper safeguards. So they went through a transformation process themselves to
yes,
take the
I
service
think-
online.
I think the whole COVID-19 pandemic, it put us on a springboard.
Yes, it
And we had to
definitely
take
did.
huge leaps. We had to take huge
It
leaps
was the
in all
catalyst.
sectors. Oh my gosh, it really was the catalyst,
Yes.
right? It was the catalyst for a lot of the different changes that we're experiencing right now. But now we're able to appreciate the good that is coming from it, right? The good that
Correct.
is coming from it. So, like, for example, with this, implementing this app into this whole permit system, how really would this work? How really would this work? And let's see, how does it affect the person who is applying?
Well, I think first of all, we have to highlight what it really was without this permit so that we
Yeah,
can see, okay,
yeah,
what
I
is
would
the
like to
benefit,
know.
right? So the way it really worked was if you were an employer and you wanted to hire a foreign employee, then you're required to apply for a temporary employment permit for that individual so that they can work within your company. So in the past, as is, maybe we all know, the majority of the services in government, you have to physically go to an office, submit the application.
We all know.
Right. And then you would have to go to the nearest Treasury Department to make payments, and then come back and supply the additional documents to the respective entity so that they can process the application. Of course, during COVID, that was not possible. So we had to find a way to change the way we operated for so many years. They designed this temporary employment permit. It was done by a local IT company in designing now a fully online system. But the challenge then was we didn't have the capacity to do online payments. So you would still have to come to the nearest Treasury Department. So only a piece
So
of the
then
process
the
was
application
online.
was
online,
able to happen
right.
online, but still that
Paying.
getting my money to pay for this application,
Correct.
that had to be done
Still had
the
to be
old
physical.
school way.
Exactly. Which is, still a pain point. So
It
we
still is, yes, but when we're talking about moving things online and making things a little bit easier, that kind of complicates things. That kind of complicates
Right.
things.
So, we partnered together and we said, let's try to now, again, address the need of the citizen and create that value, as you said earlier. And we looked in the market, we looked at what's available because we don't want to try to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to
Right,
move
right.
at a faster pace than before. So we need to build on what exists. And mobile wallets, because of the innovation too of the private sector in introducing mobile wallets, and eCash is only one of them now, we were able to say, why not test something new? Why go and try to do online banking, transfers. Why not try something that's new, different, innovative that can maybe work? And that's really where, you know,
I
the
think that was just
brainchild
a marvelous
of the piloting
thing to
began.
have tried out because it's working, right?
One, they can now do it from the comfort of their homes. They no longer have to travel to any government office to do this application and pay for the application. And two, it is now 24/7 because if the application is fully online, you can make payments online. It doesn't matter. Before you had to kind of
Oh, yes.
rush hour, or you know,
Make sure
I
you
need to do
catch
it
the
before
payment office before it
Right.
closes at 3
Thank
o'clock,
you.
sometimes at 2:30.
Exactly. No, you don't have to worry about that. You know, you can do it at any time because the system is fully online.
Convenient, accessible.
easy, accessible, right? And of course, it's safe because we've made sure, you know, that all the necessary design of the system considers the safety of the individual as well, and putting their information online. It kind of highlights what we're pushing for and what the objective is, and to ensure that, you know, citizens now have access to 24/7 services, and that it's at their convenience, it's easy, and that it's safe. And that's what, you know, going
That's
online
what
means
this
for
is all
government.
about.
Yes, that's what
right?
it's all
That's
about.
what this is all about, the National Digital Agenda. And
Exactly.
this is just one of the projects that has already been implemented, the temporary employment permit system.
2.0. We call it 2.0.
Oh, with the use of e-cash payment in it. So that's just wonderful. Okay. Up next, we're going to show you all a little video that we're sure you're going to enjoy, and we invite you to stay tuned.
Prior to us coming to government, it used to take about 2 weeks or sometimes a little bit more for the temporary employment permit to be approved. We have now reduced this to 1 week. Under the current system, whilst it was all electronically uploaded, the final process was the payment. And you know, people had to go physically to the Treasury Department to do that. And we felt that, you know, moving into the electronic era and certainly digitizing the services offered by government, which is the way the world's going, we had to improve the system.
eCash was launched on August 6, 2021, and it currently has over 45,000 users, bringing financial institutions to the Belizean market. eCash is undoubtedly the best alternative to cash, allowing customers to complete their transactions immediately in a safe and secure way. Belize Bank is honored to have been chosen as the financial institution of choice to facilitate the first of its kind digital payment solution for governmental services to Belizeans via our eCash platform.
It is a start. It's an important start in terms of what eCash brings to the table, what digital wallet solutions bring to the table. I should mention that there are other digital wallet solutions that are being offered by the banking system. So we have to be mindful that there are other opportunities for broadening the payment space, the payment processing space. So that I think is something that is being embraced as part of this e-governance initiative, so that in every government services that requires payments, we can simplify the payment system and reduce the bureaucracies associated with processing applications.
As part of Plan Belize and as part of our digital agenda, the government is committed to making the interaction with the public and government services easier. And so this is a first step. What we're trying to do is that when the public needs to interact with the government for some type of service, they can do it from any location, whether or not they have a bank account or not. So we're trying to make it accessible to everyone.
Under Plan Belize, we committed to the Belizean people to improve the process of how business is done, the ease of how business is done in Belize. And certainly we need to look at, you know, improving the efficiency and the timeliness in which the government of Belize delivers the services to the people of this country.
we're hoping that you enjoyed that little video we showed you. Earlier, Alexia and I were discussing on how ICT is impacting the lives of you all, of everyone, of our citizens, particularly with the implementation of it with the temporary employment permit system.
Yes.
Right? And how it makes things more accessible, easier. It basically improved a system that was ready, begging to be improved. But what next? What's next, Alexia?
That's a good question, and I think that's probably what everybody else wants to know. What's next? What are we planning to do when it comes to taking services online? A fully online e-services portal, where now
Wow.
all services that government offers is going to be on one single platform and window. So instead of having to go, as we do now, to so many different offices, have to engage with so many people to get a single service,
that
right?
duplicity that exists.
Exactly. Now we're designing well, we call it a single window because that's what it is. If you think about it, it's like you're going to a store and you go to that store and you'll be able to see all the options that's available when it comes to services, whether you want services in relation to land, services in relation to birth registration, marriage registration, services for driver's license. All services will now be on this one single window that you'll log in, and you go ahead and select what you want to do, and it'll be fully online. You'll be able to make your payments online, and all the processes in the end that takes you to get that service at the tips of your hands will be automating across ministries. So it's going to be a huge revolution, a huge transition
I am
from where we are
feeling
today.
that. I'm totally feeling that because I'm hearing you list out the different services that are going to be there, and I'm sure that the list is extensive. The list is extensive.
Oh, yes.
I'm here for it, and I'm hoping that everyone else is as excited as I am about this, because you know what? Who
I'm
doesn't-
exciting myself.
Right? Who doesn't want life easier? So I mean,
Exactly.
it's going to make life easier.
And we've begun to put the pieces together. We're not really just starting from ground zero when you think about it. Earlier last year, you might have heard us launch a system for actual driver's licensing for
Yes,
the
yes.
Department of Transport.
Right.
So we're starting to set all the pieces in place so that portal can come sooner rather than later. So we need to move faster, and it's going to be I would say, one of the big baby projects of the unit in driving forward and having that one single window for all citizens to be able to access all services that you now need from government. So like I said, it's going to be a revolution. But of course, it's also going to take time to put all 350 plus services online. So obviously it's not going to be like a full big bang, all
Right.
350 online immediately.
But I think
we're
the
going to be
magnitude of this
phasing
is
it.
difficult to appreciate right now. Like just
Yeah.
thinking about it, it's when you're actually making use of these services
yes.
that you're going to get the full impact of just how it is for everyone. Just how much benefit we're all going to get
The
from
change.
it. Yes,
The change that's
exactly.
coming. And like you said, the benefit, the convenience of it now, and how much time is going to save you in now having to access a service. Because you no longer will have to do traveling to any office, standing in long lines, having to do multiple visits to get a service. All of these challenges that all of us face is now going to be addressed with
Okay.
technology.
So I'm hearing that these different services from the different sectors in government are going to be provided right here. And I'm thinking right now, what is the department doing in terms of ensuring quality across the board? Right?
Yeah, and that's an important question, because when you think about it, 350 services. I have to repeat it again because it's so much.
How many again? Let me hear it again.
I'm gonna whisper it.
Wow.
You know, and how do you make sure that no matter which service you access, that is the same quality, same standard, same convenience, same ease? And that is important for us because it's not just about taking a service online. Yes, it's great. You know, it'll be great to just put a check mark. We did a portal, we use ICT, but really what we're trying to achieve is one, how much more easier we're making it for you. And of course, the satisfaction, the level of satisfaction that citizens have in accessing services now. And part of customer satisfaction, as we all know, is quality, right?
That's important because I'm thinking with all these different services available, you know, you wouldn't want that. You go to one and wow, it's so easy and convenient, and when you go to another one, it's like, wait, I'm not sure what to do.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and
will that be monitored?
definitely. So as part of the whole design of the portal, and now I'm gonna sound a little bit more technical, but you know, we're gonna be do process reengineering, which is really looking at the entire service, breaking it down in pieces and saying, okay, this part works, keep. This part doesn't work, remove. And starting to make it easier and more seamless. That's gonna be one of the major
Okay, so
steps.
that's like the behind the scenes
work that we have
going
to do,
take place. So
you
that
know?
technical work would be the behind the scenes. The rest of us, we click, click, click. Oh yes, we're getting things done. But all the
Exactly.
behind the scenes work that
Yes.
will take place.
Yes,
for-
so
for
that
this.
we can have standard services, but in addition to that, and ensuring that we're achieving that vision in creating
Impressive.
maximal impact
Impressive.
and creating the value, right? It's all about creating the value
Yes.
for the citizens. So
Yes.
definitely. But I know we've been having a great conversation, but you know, we need to take a few minutes of break and as always introduce to you some very interesting feature videos that I'm sure you're going to like. So stay tuned and then join us back so that you can also learn if you missed anything what we've been discussing today, but even so, what we've been discussing at the Digital Spotlight podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to another conversation for the Digital Spotlight podcast. This time I'm joined by what I can consider one of the biggest shakers, movers, champions in government in really trying to make sure we're making a difference. CEO Valentino Schall from the Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Local Government and Labor. CEO, thank you for being here with us today and having this very critical conversation. We know, you know, it's one of the government's national development goals to support the development of our communities and to really push forward in rural transformation. And I think we've all seen it at home, the level of work that your ministry has been doing over the years. I mean, it's significant, it's extremely impressive to see how much work and dedication has been going on from the very beginning that you got into office. So I think it's excellent work. So we wanted to get some inputs from you in how do you now see technology playing a role in this transformation, as well as why? Why are you doing this process of embracing digitalization within your ministry?
Thank you, Alexia. I think that's a very important and very fundamental question, actually, and why, you know, it goes to the whole core of the approach that we're taking at the Ministry of Rural Transformation. And the answer to the question why is quite simple. It's for efficiency and accountability. Before I joined the government, I also was on the receiving end of government services, and I understand how frustrating it can be for members of the public when the services are inefficient. And it's not good for the economy, it's not good for the conduct of business. And so that's the primary reason, is to improve the efficiency. For instance, when I joined the ministry and we visited some of the stakeholders in the labor sector, they said, you know, one of the things they shared with us is how long it takes to get a work permit processed, and they had to hand deliver reams of paper because it's all manual, to the local office. The local office then takes their own time to submit it to the head office and that sort of thing. And so we have cut down all of that now to 14 days. As a matter of fact, some are now within 24 hours. And there's no more need to submit any paper. Everything now is, or even to the local office, everything comes straight to the head office. Yeah. It is reviewed, vetted, and submitted directly to the committee that approves the work permit. So we have improved the turnaround time. We have improved the efficiency in which services are delivered. But also, like I said, the other part is accountability. I mean, you don't want your application to be sitting in some government office somewhere.
Right.
And then eventually somebody forgetting that there was a file or there was an application. That is not, and that contributes to inefficiency. But now when it's submitted online, you can track it. You know which date was submitted, you know what time it was submitted, you know how long you have submitted it, and you know who is dealing with it. Right? So that is tracked, and so it introduces a level of accountability that helps to drive the efficiency. And this is the way we have to move this country, and this is the way we move ahead. We do things faster and better, and so that's why we're doing what we're doing. We have established a digitization program within the ministry, and we just reviewed it last week at our strategic retreat, and we're going to keep going. There's going to be more digitized products that are coming out of the ministry. By the end of the month, we will launch a new labor complaints management system, where you will be able to file a labor complaint from anywhere, from your phone, at your home, on the bus while you're going home, anywhere. And again, this introduces a greater level of efficiency and a greater level of accountability in protecting the rights of workers. So that's one thing that is also coming. Hopefully by the end of the month, we should be launching that new service.
Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. We truly appreciate it. And kudos once more and congratulations to your team in all the great work you're doing.
Thank you. It was a pleasure coming here. It's always good to be able to talk about these things, in different contexts. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to spend some time here with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Hi, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that video. Earlier, we were talking about how we, through the digital agenda, are creating value for our citizens using ICT.
I think we've been discussing a lot about what's happening right now in government, in making sure services are going online, which are immediate needs, but also how we're planning to continue that evolution and continue on government going online so that we can achieve that full vision of being online, right?
That is key. That is key because we already see that government is really working at helping businesses transact electronically. So the pandemic, as I mentioned earlier, it was a little springboard that got us there, but now government is really facilitating this, and that continuity is something that's important.
It's important because we don't want to just go online once and never see additional improvements. ICT changes every day, but likewise our needs change every day. One day we might like it this way and this might work for us, and because of changes, then something else might be needed to continue that support. So definitely, we need to make sure that we're planning for the future and planning for your future needs without you knowing you need it yet.
So we have to have that little mentality to be a little bit fluid as the changes go by, because we don't know necessarily. Yes, innovative and proactive in these changes.
Exactly. So I think, like you said, it's all about trying to drive what the digital agenda is about. And making those impacts where it's needed the most, and ensuring that everything we're doing is citizen-centric. It's about you, it's about the Belizeans at home, and how do we create the value for you, and what's your needs. And I just want to add that that's why it's important to have these types of conversations about what we're doing, because we don't represent everyone.
That is what I find especially resonant, because yes, it's true, all these different things are happening, and honestly, myself included, I did not know all that behind the scenes, that technical aspect of it, all the work that's happening in order to get this done. But it's something that we can all appreciate, how it's going to impact us, how it's going to create value
Yeah.
for us, how it's going to make life easier for us if we are willing to adapt these different applications, these different services, and these different methods of doing things, right? I know
And
it's a
embrace the
little change.
digital wave that's coming, right?
It's here, yes, it's here. And I'm so thankful that our country is on this forward thinking movement. It feels so proactive, it feels so,
We've waited a good time to get here. So it's
high time.
yes, exactly.
high time.
That we move in this direction and that we ensure that it's a continuous direction of moving forward. So I think it's going to be exciting stuff that the unit is working with various ministries, because it's a collaborative effort. We spoke about it in the other podcasts about changing culture, etc., and how do we do it at a collaborative manner and ensure that everybody's perspective is considered, and that citizens are also part of the conversation. I think it's been, what can I say, kind of full circle today in this conversation, right?
Yes.
In bringing everything home and how we're going to improve service delivery. But I want to thank you for joining me today on this specific topic, how we're going to move online and what's next. So thank you for joining us, and of course thank you to viewers at home
It's
for
my
joining
pleasure.
us.
It's my pleasure to be here.
It's been great having this discussion with Stephanie, but also with you. And as always, we want you to learn, we want you to share and engage with us as we go about in this digital transformation, as we go about creating that value and impact for you. So, continue staying tuned, learning with us more through the Digital Spotlight podcast, engaging with us, sharing with us, and of course, follow our Facebook page, the e-governance and digitalization Facebook page, so that you can also see all the new conversations that we'll be having very soon and continue to learn with us. So, we see you next week with our other co-host, Erwin Wills, as we begin to discuss and deep dive, what's the role that we each play in now driving this transformation forward. So, see you next week.
I'll definitely be tuning in. Goodbye, everyone.
It is a wonder I get through at all. Doing government business, big or small. The lines are long, I'm waiting there. The process is a nightmare. So the government is making changes, so it's easier with online forms going paperless to handle your requests. And this is gonna change the way it is, a modern way to change the way we live. Upgrading all the systems we have to make your life better. Better cyber security and even better connectivity. The promotion of the transformation to the future for me. Making a digital believes in the always changing industry technologies. But we see progress in all the communities. We need a digital spotlight to want a digital belief.